Dr. Elijah Carter thought he was the only one arriving early that morning. He was wrong. This is the Professor and Jennie Chronicles. Episode 7. The Prayer List. The campus was still quiet. The sun had barely begun to rise over Dancy University. Most of the students were asleep. Most of the professors had not yet arrived. But Dr. Elijah Carter was already walking across campus with a cup of coffee in one hand and a stack of papers tucked beneath his arm. It had become his routine. Arrive early, work quietly, enjoy a few peaceful moments before the day began. As he unlocked the office door, he immediately knew something was different. Very different. His desk was clean. Perfectly clean. Not organized. Not tidy. Perfect. Every pencil stood perfectly straight. Every book was aligned. Every paper sat in neat stacks. Even the coffee stains that had survived 3 semesters had somehow disappeared. Dr. Carter sighed. Jennie. A faint golden sparkle appeared near the bookshelf. Then another. Then another. And finally Jennie appeared beside her bottle with the biggest smile imaginable. Good morning, Professor. Dr. Carter looked around. You cleaned again. Jennie nodded proudly. You're welcome. The professor laughed. I never said thank you. Jennie's smile vanished. That seems rude. The professor set down his coffee. It wasn't rude. It was experience. Jennie folded her arms. I improved your office. The last time you improved my office, I couldn't find my lecture notes for 3 days. Jennie looked offended. They were alphabetized. I don't alphabetize lecture notes. You should. Dr. Carter shook his head. No. Jennie pointed toward the desk. Well, this time I only cleaned. The professor examined the room. Nothing appeared to be missing. That alone was progress. Thank you, Jennie. Her smile immediately returned. For a moment they simply enjoyed the quiet. The office had become something neither of them expected. A home. Not because Jennie lived there. Not because Dr. Carter worked there. But because friendships have a way of changing ordinary places. Jennie suddenly noticed a small notebook lying beside the professor's Bible. What is that? Dr. Carter glanced down. Oh, my prayer list. Jennie tilted her head. Your what? My prayer list. The professor opened the notebook. Several pages were filled with names. Some pages were full. Others had notes written beside them. Some names were highlighted. Others had check marks. Jennie stared. Those are all people? Yes. Why? The professor blinked. What do you mean, why? Jennie pointed at the notebook. There are dozens of names. Yes. Why are they in your book? The professor smiled. So I can pray for them. Jennie frowned. The answer clearly made no sense to her. Why would you do that? Dr. Carter looked surprised. Because they need prayer. Jennie stared at him. No. The professor laughed. No. No. That doesn't explain anything. She pointed toward one name. Who is this? Mrs. Jenkins. What does she want? She's having surgery next week. Jennie nodded. Then use magic. We've discussed this. Jennie ignored him. Next person. The professor looked down. Marcus. Jennie smiled. She remembered Marcus. What does he need? Direction. Jennie frowned. You can't pray direction into someone. The professor smiled. Actually, you can. Jennie pointed to another name. What about this one? Mr. Thompson. What does he need? His wife passed away. Jennie's expression softened. Oh. The professor nodded. The room became quiet. Jennie looked at the notebook again. So these people are hurting. Some are. And you write their names down. Yes. And then you talk to God about them. Yes. Jennie looked completely confused. But why? The professor leaned back in his chair. Because the question wasn't silly. Not to her. Jennie came from a world where power solved problems. Need money. Wish for it. Need food? Create it. Need help? Use magic. Prayer seemed terribly inefficient. And yet, the professor smiled. That's a very good question. And for the first time in her life, Jennie began learning something that magic could never teach. Each time she becomes more confused. None of these prayers benefit Dr. Carter. He gains nothing. No money, no recognition, no wishes, nothing. And yet he keeps praying. That night the campus is quiet. The office is dark except for the desk lamp. Jennie is pretending to read a book while Dr. Carter finishes grading papers. Eventually he closes the last folder. He rubs his eyes, opens his Bible, then opens the prayer notebook. Jennie watches silently. The professor begins praying, quietly, softly, the way he always does when he thinks no one is listening. He prays for Marcus. He prays for Mrs. Jenkins. He prays for Mr. Thompson. He prays for several others. Then he pauses. Jennie notices him turn to a blank page. The professor smiles, a tired smile, the kind people wear when they care deeply about someone. Then he writes a new name, Jennie. Jennie freezes. The professor begins praying, Lord, thank you for bringing Jennie into my life. Jennie's eyes widen. I know she's confused. I know she's still learning. I know she doesn't understand much about faith. But please protect her. Give her wisdom. Keep her safe. And help me be the friend she needs. The office becomes very quiet because Jennie realizes something. She never asked him to pray for her. She never asked for help. She never even knew he was worried about her. Yet he prayed anyway. Not because he wanted something, because he cared. For the first time, Jennie begins to understand. Prayer isn't magic. Prayer is love. The professor eventually falls asleep in his chair. Bible open, glasses crooked, prayer notebook still resting on his lap. Jennie slowly walks over, carefully lifts the notebook, looks at all the names. People who were sick, hurting, lost, lonely, afraid. People someone cared enough about to remember. Jennie reaches for a pen. Very carefully she writes a single new name, Dr. Elijah Carter. Then she pauses, smiles, and writes beneath it, needs rest. For the first time in her existence, Jennie folds her hands, closes her eyes, and attempts something she has never done before. Not a wish, not a spell, not magic, a prayer. God. She opens one eye. Am I doing this right? She closes it again. Thank you for Professor Carter. He is kind. He worries too much. And he works entirely too hard. Please take care of him. Amen. Nothing glows. Nothing sparkles. No magic fills the room. Yet somehow, the room feels warmer than it ever has before. Dr. Carter asleep. Jennie sitting beside the emerald bottle. The prayer notebook open on the desk. Two names visible on the final page. Jennie, Dr. Elijah Carter.